Can I... Can I do my thing? Are you gonna... Are you gonna... You're not gonna let me, are you? Are you... Real... Really? Really? Really now? I'm trying to... Can we please... Can we please not? Thank you. Hello, friends, and welcome to Figure Study, where we appreciate the form in Transformers, and we are doing a little bit more animated today with Transformers Animated Arcee, and this was a figure that was on my want to get list for a really long time. I mean, a really long time. I actually remember I was in college at the time, saw her in a Toys R Us, and was like, oh, I want to get that. And then I didn't because I was all like, oh, well, I get these figures and they just collect dust and blah, blah, blah. Because this was, back before I got back into it. And yeah, never saw her in a store again. Super regretted not getting her. Still to this day regret not picking her up at the time. But I finally bit the bullet and ordered her off of, I can't remember if it was eBay or Amazon or somewhere else, but regardless, I finally got my hands on her. Paid a little bit, well, more than retail, but that's kind of how it is in the aftermarket sometimes. But she is very cool. I'm very glad I finally got my hands on her. Her vehicle, oddly enough, is semi-hourglass shaped. It's a little strange, but it's it's a nice looking hover car thing, wedge thing. It's yeah. I will say I don't so much mind the clear cockpit here because it's actually designed like it's just one piece. You're not covering up robot faces or anything like that, so you can kind of sort of see a seat in there maybe. Probably would have looked better if they went with a lighter color here, or even just painted it. But hey, whatever. At least the Autobot symbol stands out really nicely. And I mean, she's not typical Arcee colors. She's a little bit more red than, well, a lot more red than pink. But I think the color scheme works. I like the reddish, maroon, whatever, with the white and the silver. That little bit of yellow in the front for the headlights, which seems kind of unnecessary, but whatever. It's a good color combination overall. The wheels don't have any paint on them, but they're so small I don't really care that much, and they're kind of overshadowed by the rest of the car details. Like it's meant to almost like cover the wheels in a way, so it doesn't bother me too much. And I mean, it's animated, so there's not a whole lot in the way of textural detail, but there are some nice little details here, like on the sides here, a little bit in the front here, almost like a little vent scoop thing there. And then, of course, you've got these wings with just a little bit of line work here to separate off these bits with that little bit of silver paint, which is nice. It's kind of a shame they have a similar detail on the inside on the smaller wing, but they didn't paint in there. Kind of wish they had, but whatever. Yeah, it's a nice looking little vehicle. It's not typical Arcee, I guess, but I'm okay with that. Even from the back, it looks all right. A little bit weird with these bits sticking out, but And yes, she does have that little peekaboo thing going, but this, honestly, it doesn't really bother me when you've got the wings on, because if you're looking at the car like this, or even like this, you don't really notice that. So, whatever. Yeah, it's a nice shaped car. I actually like the way that some of the shapes, the contours of the car are separated out by paint, like just this nice, like the white and the red here, how it just kind of separates there, just kind of makes that shape stand out more. I kind of wish they did something similar in the front here to kind of help that along too. But, you know, paint budgets or something, I'm sure. So yeah, nice little vehicle. Underside, kind of meh. Lots and lots of screws too, but that's okay. It's the underside of the vehicle. Who cares? And let's put the two badass ladies next to each other so you can see for scale. Yeah, and for for as obvious as it was that Samus wasn't going to be driving Rodimus, she is definitely not driving Arcee. Yep, that is Arcee's vehicle mode. Now let's take a look at the robot mode. Not that this will come as a surprise to anybody, but I actually really like Arcee's robot mode too. The proportions, which I probably should have thought this through before posing her in the cross arm thing, proportions are nice. Let me just readjust her arms here to kind of fix that. There we go. So yeah, proportions are nice. I mean, she's, you know, she's a lady, but I think they got that across by making her limbs just a little bit thinner, as opposed to, like, you know, here is a shapely chest and the ridiculous fertility symbol hips that they gave Generations Arcee, which I know, animation accurate, whatever, but it's silly. This Arcee, I think, is much nicer. I like the just, you know, she looks a little bit more waifish in a way, but she still looks like, you know, like she could definitely handle herself. And as I understand it, at least in the comics, she handles herself quite well. Yeah, this is a very, very cool figure. You know, just the reddish pink, still very prominent. Kind of wish that there was a little bit more paint, to be honest. I mean, I do like how it's broken up with the black and the white here and there. And there's a little bit of, you can kind of see there's like white on the shoulders, which I do appreciate. But I feel like there could have been a little bit more detail around like the hands and forearms and maybe down in here. You know, what can you do? Aside from paint it myself, obviously. But overall, definitely cool looking. You know, I do like the color breakup, and I love this, like the slightly chunkier boots that both look cool and also add like a decent sort of balance when you're looking at her overall shape. When you look, you know, sort of the boots sort of balance the backpack thing, which I think looks really nice. And then there is her head, which I also quite like. I have been thinking of doing the thing that I saw in Evangelos' video, where I just take her head apart and do like a little bit of black Sharpie in there, because I do think a little bit of black right where that white is under the eyes, I think black would actually really help kind of make that pop a little bit more, because as it is, the pink to the white to the blue kind of does bleed everything together a little bit. I do like the maroonish pink on the top of the head though. Yeah, it's a nice head. I just, you know, a little bit of black there I think would actually help. And mayhaps also do some black on the neck, maybe, I don't know. This is all like completely irrelevant to what I'm talking about right now, which is the figure as is. But yeah, just a little bit more paint I think would go a long way. The Autobot symbol on the chest looks fine. You know, I think silver is fine. I think white would stand out a little bit better. And also, I do kind of think, as with a lot of these things, it could use a little bit more definition. But it's not terrible. It's fine. It's totally fine. It just doesn't pop quite as well as the one on the top of the cockpit, which is back here. And on the topic of that, I actually kind of like that sticking off the back. It gives her almost like a, I don't know, like a super robot kind of vibe, like how a lot of them have those like sort of robot skirt things going, both the male and female robots. I think that's it's a neat kind of feature. I dig it. I dig it. The backpack also doesn't bother me too much. Like, really, this with the wings, I don't care. And you can, of course, as I'm sure a lot of people have shown already, you can take these off, which makes for a more compact, semi-classic looking Arcee, which is nice, and honestly, I will say preferable. But then you're left with these, and I don't want to just tuck them off to the side, and I kind of wish that they could, like, go down like this, or like this, but they don't really. It just doesn't stick. Like, they don't, they kind of, like, it can kind of go on, but they bump off real easy. So what I've ended up doing is I just kind of sandwich them together like this, and just tuck them back here. It is not the most elegant... no, do it this way. It is not the most elegant solution in the world, but, you know, I want to keep her on the shelf. She doesn't fit as well with the wings on, so, worry about that later. Regardless, when I display her, I take them off because I want her to fit next to everybody else, so these gotta go. But still looks cool, and of course she's got her swords, which count as accessories, so I'm just gonna leave those be. Yeah, she is very cool. I kind of want to say, just visually, that she might actually be my favorite Arcee out of the ones that I have, which I've got 3 currently. I've got Animated, Generations, and the first edition Prime. And I haven't done one on Generations Arcee because she's covered in repro labels, and I don't think it'd be right to do a figure study on a figure that's covered in repro labels, and I don't want to buy a second one. But I don't know, maybe I'll do it in the future anyway. Regardless, I really like this look for Arcee. I think she looks very cool. She's got a nice balance between looking like, you know, a lady, but also looking like someone who will turn you inside out if you cross her. And that's very, very cool. I just, you know, a little bit more paint here and there would be nice. And also something to do with these if you don't want them on the back. Just someplace else to stick them to get them out of the way would be nice. Like, even if they could just go, like, back here somewhere, just to kind of clean up, you know, stay out of the way. It would be nice. Regardless, I am very glad I finally got my hands on Animated Arcee because she is awesome. And yeah, I just can't really say much more than that. Speaking of awesome ladies, there she is next to Samus. And not as big, like in the Rodimus video you saw, like he got significantly bigger. Not quite on the same level in terms of stuff shifting around. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that her backpack, it's almost the entire back of the car just kind of swings around to make her backpack, as opposed to really unfolding to do anything else. But still, it looks cool. It looks cool, and as I understand it, she doesn't necessarily need to be taller than everyone else. I don't know. I never actually got as far into Animated as to see Arcee show up, which is a shame, but yeah. Regardless, even if she's a little bit short, she is cool. She's very, very cool. I really love the look. Love the cylindrical shoulders and the boxy chest and the big boots, and the backpack pods look cool. She's very cool. Very cool, and she's got lots of awesomeness to her. And she comes with 2 giant energy swords, which look really cool when she wields them, which I'm not doing here because I'm a jerk. But that's enough fawning over Arcee, I think. She is just very cool. I'm so glad I finally got her. And not gonna get rid of her. That's for certain. Anyway, that has been my look at Transformers Animated Arcee. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those 3 would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.